Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping headfirst into a really high-stakes world, the place where artificial intelligence and cybersecurity smash together. You've heard about large language models, right? LLMs. Well, they're on the verge of totally rewriting the rules for how we defend our digital lives. But here's the billion-dollar question. Is that going to be for the better or for the worse?
So, let's get right to it. This is the big question, the core tension of this whole conversation. Is it possible that the same exact technology that could give us this, impenetrable digital shield could also be the one fatal flaw that brings the entire thing crashing down? And look, this isn't just some techie debate. This is about the future of security for all of us. So who is this new partner we're talking about? What is an LLM in this context? Well, I want you to imagine a tool that can read literally every single line of code, watch every single byte of data flying through a network, and check it against every threat report ever written, all at the same time. That's the kind of power we're talking about. It's like giving your security team 1,000 brilliant assistants who never sleep.
To really get a handle on this, let's use an analogy that we'll keep coming back to. Think of an LLM in cybersecurity as a brilliant but naive rookie detective. This rookie, they can sift through mountains of evidence. We're talking logs, network traffic, code, and spot these incredible patterns that even the most seasoned human analysts might miss. But, and this is a huge but, it has zero real-world street smarts. It can point right at a clue, but it can't really explain the motive or the why behind it. And that gap right there between spotting something and truly understanding it, that's where all the trouble begins.
And that, of course, brings us to the peril. Before we just hand this rookie detective the keys to our entire digital kingdom, we absolutely have to understand its 5 biggest flaws. These are the hurdles standing between the promise of this tech and the reality of a secure future. So hurdle number 1 is just their sheer size. These models are gigantic. We're talking a staggering amount of computing power and memory just to get them up and running. For a lot of companies, trying to use a top-tier LLM for security it's way too expensive and way too slow to actually be practical. Okay, then there's the data problem. A detective is only as good as the case files they get to study, right? Well, in cybersecurity, those case files, the data on brand new attacks and vulnerabilities, are often super limited, or they're classified, or they're just highly sensitive. This makes it incredibly hard to train the LLM on the very threats we need it to be an expert on. And that lack of data leads straight to another huge problem. Our rookie detective is fantastic at spotting crimes it's seen before, but it really struggles with anything new or creative. So if some clever hacker comes up with a totally innovative attack method, something outside the box, the LLM is probably going to miss it completely because it's just never seen anything like it in its training data. Fourth on our list is the infamous black box problem. So imagine your detective points at a suspect and just says, "He's the one," but gives you absolutely no reason why. No evidence, no logic. A human security analyst needs that reasoning. They have to understand the why before they can act. Without it, an AI alert is just a guess. And you just can't build a real defense on a guess.
And that brings us to our 5th and final hurdle, hallucinations. This is basically the digital version of our detective just making stuff up, inventing clues that aren't there. The AI might confidently report some phantom threat, sending the entire security team on a wild goose chase that costs a ton of time and money. And in a real cyber attack, when every single second counts, chasing ghosts is a disaster.
So let's just lay it all out. These are not just some abstract technical issues. Every single one of these hurdles translates directly into a serious, real-world risk. A model that's too expensive, that's blind to new threats, and that wastes your team's precious time chasing phantoms, well, that's not a solution, is it? It's just another problem you have to deal with. But okay, it's not all doom and gloom, not at all. Now that we've really looked at the flaws, we can start talking about how to fix them. And the good news is, there's a clear path forward. A way to turn this brilliant but naive rookie into a seasoned, trustworthy expert. The journey ahead is all about transformation. You see, for every single hurdle we just talked about, there's a potential solution waiting to be unlocked. We can go from resource-heavy to efficient and accessible, from data-starved to all-seeing and context-aware, and from being a black box to a transparent and reliable partner. Here's how we get there.
First off, we can get much better performance simply by working smarter, not harder. Instead of just building bigger and bigger models, we can use smarter training methods, like parameter-efficient fine-tuning. And we can use techniques like feature augmentation to basically create more training data from the data we already have. It's like teaching our detective from a much wider range of case studies. The goal is simple: get better results without needing a warehouse full of supercomputers. Next up, we can actually teach our detective to protect itself. A huge concern here is that hackers could turn the LLM against us. So the goal is to build self-securing models, LLMs that are constantly watching themselves for any signs of tampering and can actively fight back against attacks. This is absolutely critical if we're ever going to truly trust them.
Third, we've got to give our detective more senses. Right now, it's pretty much just reading text. But the future is in models that are multimodal. Imagine an LLM that doesn't just read the logs, but it can also watch the network traffic, see suspicious images from a security camera, and even feel strange vibrations from sensor data on critical infrastructure. When you combine all of those inputs, you get a complete 360-degree view of the crime scene. The analysis becomes so much deeper.
And all of this leads to our fourth big opportunity: autonomous agents. Now hold on. This isn't about Skynet or AI taking over. It's about creating LLM-powered tools that can automatically investigate an alert, do the initial analysis, and even suggest the best way to respond, all with a human analyst still in charge. This could literally shrink the response time to a threat from hours down to seconds. That's a total game changer. So, we've taken quite a journey here, right? We've gone from the raw potential of our rookie detective, looked its very real flaws right in the eye, and now we've mapped out a clear path for its future. What we're really talking about is forging a smarter, tougher, more resilient shield for our digital world. And this quote from the source material we're looking at just hits the nail on the head. This isn't just theory. By combining scientific research and practical implementation, LLMs can become strategic, reliable tools for strengthening cybersecurity. That's the whole ballgame right there, bridging the gap between the research lab and the real world.
Which leaves us with one last massive question to chew on. As we pour all of this incredible effort into building these brilliant AI defenders, what's to stop the bad guys from doing the exact same thing to build smarter AI attackers? It's an arms race. And the ultimate question of whether AI becomes our greatest weapon or our biggest weakness, well, that's an answer that's still being written.